Chapter 3, An Ancestor's Gift. Unknown, a destination without knowledge, a person with no name, a sickness without diagnosis. A vast majority fear its fickle persona. Perhaps it's a positive mystery. Maybe it's a blade that'll gut you in the night. Or nothing at all. Who can say? That's the infamy of it. None will ever know what it wishes to bring. My disease carried a negative unknown. No one understood why I saw such awful things, or why its burn crippled me so. Every day, little by little, I could feel myself grow weaker. Climbing still came naturally, and running off to play with my friends wasn't an issue, but still. Abba worried that, in time, I'd cease to function. So a solution needed to present itself. I was rather oblivious, and missed a lot of minor details. Yet I couldn't shake the lingering sense that Dad withheld important information. Regardless, I woke up all the same, ready to play with my 4 fine friends. Our slow journey yesterday created an itch only scratched by a swift game of tag. I was it, and unlike most kids, I enjoyed the role. Despite being the youngest, my legs carried the most speed of everyone in our group. Lightweight and carefree drive aided in my conquest of tag. Try as they might, their slower pace couldn't compete.
Got you!
No fair! I ran as fast as I could!
You have to move faster next time.
Come on, Mick. You're the fastest between us, Smokey. You're supposed to lead him away.
Rock's plan, although sound, wasn't enough on its own. Mick knew this and wouldn't take that lying down.
Yeah, well, you try outrunning the best climber when the base is a frickin' tree, wise guy.
He donned a poutier face as his arms crossed. I may be wise, but you're great at drawing attention, Mick. Someone needs to practice more.
In your dreams, I'm the best in front. I don't need something as pointless as practicing.
Meanwhile, the duo of females giggled at their rather pointless bickering. Mimi offered her usual basket of encouragement to me.
Don't listen to them, Lukey. You did a great job. Yeah, we're no match for you.
Our fluffy-armed friend still refused to concede even after his budding losing streak.
Just you wait, Luke. I'm gonna leave you in my mud when we race next week.
My heart still ran an emotional high from the impressive feat of speed and charged my competitive spirit.
Bring it on! I'll be ready!
Our eyes met, and the looks of 2 friends ready to face their best performance raised the already blazed passion.
You boys are really something. Don't count us out. You're fast, but our courses are designed to give us a fair chance at winning.
Mimi's expected conservative approach seemed lower on her priorities now. Our passion spread like wildfire and sparked new flames between the other 3.
Yeah, girls have just as much skill. I'll be careful and quick.
You sure you won't hesitate like during practice, Mia?
Just you wait, Mrock. I'll run circles around you. You'll be chasing your tail so much you won't see me standing behind you.
I couldn't help but laugh, and neither could anyone else for that matter. However, after a long day of laughter, games, and burning declarations, Abba called me over and I prepared for what may have been a healing gift.
Are you ready?
I think so. Didn't you say the tree was dark?
Yes, I'm hoping you might shed some light on its darkened bark.
What do I have to do?
I don't know. I'm sure something will work out for you, Luke. Come on, let's go. Up you go.
Abba lifted me gleefully, and all along the unpaved path with a smile, he painted an imaginary picture of 2 explorers. They rushed along a vast land sprawled and designed with hills rising to a shrine, and many beasts congregated around the great beacon, once bright, now dark. Each of them stared with their glowing warm eyes and spirit-coated bodies, waiting for one such as me to relight their long-lost light. One set of figures flew by with wings of more saturated undersides, and by extension, more saturated bodies of gorgeous blue. These figures hadn't appeared from Abba's words, but my own mind, flyers with screeches most high, and thin wings woven in membranes. However, as they approached the dark-coated body, the screechers stopped at the twisted branches and hung by their feet upside down. As their wings folded and covered their soft bellies, the fang-bearing flyers turned to stone, turning this whimsical world to our darkened reality. It wasn't until we arrived at the foot of this memory that all the whimsy cast itself aside. The tree practically sang a wordless tune, laced in sorrow and deep scars. The striations, gaps, and slash-shaped marks along every branch sent feeble whispers out, almost to say, "Don't forget me." The one time I wished for my obvious trait to shine, it shriveled. I could sense the tragedy in pale, dark purple bones composed of wood. Abba placed me down, which allowed me a moment to mourn for one I'd never met. Neither of us spoke. Instead, the marsh spoke its own ambient tune, a song of faint, reverbed hisses, chirps, croaks, as well as whirring winds and rustled greens. It all coagulated into a memory of reverence and grief until the hand of a child rested upon their majesty's throne. Each part of the subdued performance faded to their natural intervals and left us alone. After the haunting melody, I looked up towards the leafless branches where the screechers laid, knowing how they may have looked up once upon a time, clouded all sense of happy sunlight into clouds of rain. The stone-coated flyers were merely disfigured, and I wished I could save them. I wanted to see them up close, so I started a slow ascent toward one of the branches.
Be careful, son.
Father had grown accustomed to my height-scaling antics. Despite a crippling fear of heights, I always adored the activity. To me, climbing was akin to soaring on air, with only the precipice being the limit. Provided I kept my eyes up, I knew I was okay, and my fears turned to dust. But of course, the inevitable came every time. Each time, Abba would have to catch me. However, I required convincing to even consider a preposterous notion. That notion being, "You'll be okay, I've got you." This time was no different. But before such a sequence would pass, the objects of my curiosity hadn't satisfied my thoughts yet. Upon closer inspection, I realized they were similar to the many bats in the outer ring. Everyone called them Fangs of the Night, or Fawn for short. Those little terrors often dive for their prey the moment they sense a perfect opportunity. Nature granted a bit of mercy, though. They don't prey on us, just smaller rodents or short equivalents. With their sharp claws, they jab the little bodies and extract the blood for sustenance. It led our gatherers to give them the nickname Crimson Fangs. They travel the farthest for food gathering, so they see them rather often, asleep in the trees. Their small, wrapped bodies bore an uncanny resemblance. Regardless of their worrisome feeding habits, I couldn't help but feel even sadder. They just served as a painful reminder of what these trees represent. Rarely, when a spirit dies, if their light is strong enough, they'll leave behind grand, magnificent trees called ancestral trees. They signify their memory being left behind, on an albeit much larger scale than normal. Others are left as white flowers, or simply left to our memory. Memories are valued more than any resource to us spirits. It's a priceless part of our priceless lives. Should we fall in battle, or any other means, we wish only for our lives to never be forgotten. Such charmed sentiments can't hold out forever, but we do our best to preserve what history we leave behind. It's why, despite knowing little of our kind, this spirit's remains burned me inside. However, this quickly became overridden as the floor blurred and the branch that held me seemed to weigh less.
Daddy!
I welcomed the darker plane again with closed eyes. I hadn't the strength to endure the look of the lands below. The distance, admittedly shorter than most trees, still towered high enough to trigger these paralyzing fears. Abba, thankfully, was here and began his routine encouragement.
Luke, it's all right. I'll catch you.
I know. Can't you just come and get me?
Luke, remember what I said about that before? I couldn't deny his sincerity. My eyes slowly introduced the world of light and color, of which the bursting hues found their place again.
I trust you, but please catch me.
I took one final look at the soft pair of hands waiting to grab me, and jumped for them. I still couldn't quite bear the sight of the moving world as I fell, so my eyes remained closed until I was certain Dad held me.
You can open them now, my silly climber.
Again, my eyes slowly unleashed the world of color around me. The sight of soft, malleable mud up close gave me much relief. From this point of the ring, the terrain wasn't as soft as one would expect with the prior showcases of the land. The sun bathed the most here, and as a result, the damp saturation levels were low. Still, I appreciated the feel of the firm terrain beneath my paws. Something else I swiftly appreciated introduced itself in a wave of rumbled energy. A thin band of light expanded infinitely across the ring, soon spreading to the outer forest and beyond our sight. Warmth like a hug flowered from behind, as the once darkened tree lit in marvelous majesty. The throne now responded to their subjects, as if to notify them of their mighty presence. A blue, swirling light spun from within a large gap at the bottom of the tree. This gap made the very throne I spoke of, a circular indentation surrounded by a protruding, uneven cylinder of wood, and vast indentations that glowed from the wonderful beacon.
I knew you'd be the key. Go on, Luke. Bring yourself before the light.
Are you sure, Daddy?
He nodded and reinforced his stance with a wave of his hand across my head, ears, and antennae. I could hardly refuse, especially after such a touching gesture. I stepped toward the light, incredibly nervous, yet compelled to greet it for myself. I came closer, and my heart skipped. The light began to send pulses in a constant, slow rhythm, and in time they synchronized with my heartbeat. Our fates intertwined, and though I didn't know them, I could feel the sorrow fester evermore. I reached my hand, ignoring my nerves, and touched the pitiful light. Strong ripples of their being warped and washed over me as the memory raised me into the air. My consciousness regressed, and before I knew it, I'd been dipped into a new realm, not of darkness, nor of light, but of memory. Three brief flashes of what was swooped by and in seconds filled my head with their meanings directly.
This land and the Mookie. I love it. What you built here is incredible. I can't just stand by and wait, Roy. I know what I felt. I'm sorry. I'd take it all back if I could. Please. Why won't you listen to me?
Her voice alone almost brought me to tears. I lacked the necessary background, yet she clearly needed someone near. My aid was an impossibility. These were merely remnants of the spirit, and I reclaimed their depressed remains. We came in hopes that this light may be medicinal in some way to my internal discord. We didn't know for sure what effects this spirit's memory may have had. However, I did feel a tinge lighter in the head. I barely noticed it since the violent injection of the memories wiped out my energy. I'd fallen and landed in the caring pair of paws. Sadly, I couldn't keep myself awake for much longer, and though I tried to speak, my strength wavered and reached rock bottom. Only my ears had any function left. Shh! Rest, little Luke. The day went by so quickly. It was like a dream. Only this dream felt alive and very real. Experiencing such sad yet hopeful events created a day I'll never forget. The day an ancestor's gift passed down to me.